Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Mario L. What's up, homie? How you feel?
Good to see you, my brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Man, thank you, man. You are one of the most interesting people that I don't think people really know.
They don't.
You know, like, because you very seldom do interviews, and you in the cut, but you there, you around, you close to the action, but you be like off in the cut. You know, were you always like that?
I was, Willie. Always was like that. I always fall back and observe people, you know?
Yeah.
I just like falling back and observing. You know, growing up in New York,
Right.
You had to be observant of your surroundings. I grew up in Upper West Side Manhattan near Harlem. So you always had to have your wits about you, where you're going, how you're moving.
Right. New York City, because that is a tough place to grow up.
Yes, sir. Extremely tough.
And how do you stay focused? How do you stay focused on basketball with all of the elements that are around you that are so volatile?
It was very tough, Willie, because a lot of my friends were doughboys. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, growing up, my parents would work, not great jobs, but they were able to support us. And I saw always wearing my brother's stuff. I'm the youngest of three. I have an older brother and sister. And I wanted to have what the doughboy. These dudes had fresh sneakers every day, change, money. And it was tempting to me. It was very tempting. It was a very difficult decision for me as a young man, not having, my parents, we were middle class, but, as a young dude, you want to be fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to go to school with the fresh kicks. They had all the girls, you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing the same stuff. I can't get no action for the girls. Well, so I chose sports, man. I want to thank my brother Clark, who's not with us. I grew up a baseball player, but he put a basketball in my hand. Once he put that basketball in my hand, Willie, you talking about love, I fell in love with that thing.
Yeah. So you started playing basketball at what age?
Like, I played in 7th grade. I was sort of a late bloomer. I really didn't start early because, like I said, baseball fan from New York, grew up a Yankee fan. But my brother was a good baller, you know what I'm saying? He was like one of the better street ballers in New York, so.
What happened to him?
He was just small. He went to a small school. He was one of them ball players in New York who was always good in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He did play college ball Division III, but he never really had expectation of making it to the league. But I did.
So who were you trying to make most proud, your parents or your brother?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I just didn't like my situation. I wanted to do better. I wanted to be like the doughboys, but I wanted to do it in a legal fashion. So basketball, I felt, was my avenue, and it just took off for me. In 9th grade, I got cut from the freshman team. I cried like a little baby on the train, Willie, and my sister sort of cussed me out. That was sort of one of the life-changing moments in my life, and I said, she's right. I gotta fucking, excuse me, French, I gotta fight. I gotta fight. And I never forgot that from her. She said, man up. Don't let defeat get you down. You gotta man up. You gotta man up. And coming from your sister, your older sister, that really opened my eyes. I grew 4 inches that summer. Went back
you
to
encouraged now.
Man.
So
I grew 4.
like
God
Superman.
just blessed me that summer. Will grew 4 inches
4
that
inches.
summer. And I came back a different player. I just came back a different player.
You hit the street, you hit the court, and
the court, the guys
like,
didn't know who recognized me, the attitude, the athleticism, just that growth that 1 year, Will, just really set me off on that path.
I read somewhere that you got cut from the freshman basketball team. Was that at American
No, that was at
International?
Power Memorial.
Bob Memorial.
Power.
Memorial.
Yeah, that was one of the famous Catholic high schools. That's where Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went. Me and Chris Mullin, that's where Chris Mullin went until he transferred his junior year. So, I got cut.
Did y'all get a chance to play together?
We did. We played 2 years together. In the middle of his junior year, he transferred because his dad wasn't happy with the coach. So you know what happens when when your best player leaves. It's opportunities for others,
Right.
and I took advantage of that. So I was one of the top 10 players coming out of New York.
But you go to high school and you try for the freshman team. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And you get cut. How demoralizing is that? And how do you pick yourself up to reset and go back out there and try again the following year, in which you made the junior varsity team?
It was extremely difficult. Like I told you, Will, I went home crying. Like a little bee. Like I told you, my sister checked me really quick. She said, yo, if you want to be successful in life, it wasn't my brother, it wasn't my dad, it wasn't my mom. It was my sister Nancy, who was my biggest fan. When it started going for me, she was at all my high school games. But so she knew. She's like, yo, man, you got to man up, man. You got to toughen up, go to the park, play every day. And like I told you, it just happened for me that summer. I grew 4 inches. I was just mad on the court. Everybody's like, man, what's wrong with Mario? He just has an attitude on the court. I just wanted to prove people wrong. And I always had that chip on my shoulder, Will, all the way to the NBA. As you know, I carried that chip for a long time, and that's when it started, Will, that in 9th grade in New York City at Paul Memorial getting cut. Michael Jordan, like he said, he got cut from his high school team.
Right.
Stuff like that is sort of alter your mind. You will quit or you will prove people wrong. And I had the determination in the heart of my mind I was going to prove people wrong.
At what point do you evaluate your skills and say, I think I'm good enough to make it to the NBA?
Well, like I told you, I was one of the 10 best players in New York coming out. Was a knucklehead. Well, I'm not too sorry to admit. Didn't take school seriously. I'm getting letters from Syracuse, Florida State, Oregon. But my grades wasn't correct, so people wanted me to go to junior college, sit out. I didn't love school, so I'm in a difficult position. It's 2 weeks before, commitment. It's middle of August. My dad's like, what the hell you going to do? You better think of something. You going to school, son. So there was a Division II offer that was there waiting for me, American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts. So I had to take it. So, made the best of the situation. Wasn't happy, but made the best out of that situation. 3 times All-American, 3-time Player of the Year. I did everything. Did everything at that school.
So I'm trying to figure this out. Like, how is it that you had such disdain for school, but you speak multiple languages? You lived all over the world, basically. Like, you played all over the world. You played at how many, you played for 7, 8 teams before you got to the Rockets? How many teams?
Well, just 2. It was Golden State and International, a bunch. I was Argentina, Ireland, Portugal,
NBA,
USBL. You're right, Willie. At least 7, 8 leagues.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And then you get drafted. Well, first of all, you get drafted in 1985.
Yes,
you got drafted.
7th round, Luke.
7th round.
Now they only have 2 rounds now.
What was that, 109th pick?
I was the 160th. It was 162 picks, Will. I was the 160th pick.
Okay. So you get drafted, and Milwaukee Bucks, right?
Yes.
So you are thinking, okay, I'm going to be a Buck. At this point, are you tripping on who drafted you? You just want to get in? Or?
Was tripping, Will, because I was in the parks of New York just chilling. I go to a small Division II school. I did my work. Never thought I was going to get drafted. I'm just hanging out with my boys in the park across the street from my apartment, Upper West Side, Manhattan. My mom excited. Well, she come to the park. Oh, sweetheart, you've been drafted. You've been drafted. I'm like, really? Who drafted me? She said, Milwaukee. I'm like, wow. She said, the 160th pick.
Yeah.
I said, how many picks were there, Mom? She said, 162.
Wow.
Second to the last, Will. Second to the last.
Your mom called you sweetheart? Is that how she normally talk?
Yeah. My mom was the sweetest thing, man.
My mama has never called me sweetheart before. Motherfucker a few times.
Nah, my mom never. My mom was
I don't
the
even know
sweetest.
what's the closest she probably...
My dad took care of all that. My mom was the sweetest thing. But my dad was, woo, he wasn't no joke.
The closest my mom probably ever came to calling me sweetheart was just calling me boy.
It's the reason I made it is because of her. She loved me just unconditionally. I was her baby boy. She saw something in me, and when I remember when my dad died when I just got out of college, and she said, "You gonna make it." She said, "You're going to make the league."
Mm-hmm.
She just spiritual woman. You know, I laid her to rest a couple months ago, but she said, "You're going to make the league."
Wow.
She said, "You're going to make the league." And I'm like, wow. Then at 27, Will, it just happened for me. You know, it just happened for me at that time. God is good, I tell you that.
My condolences, man, to your mom.
Thank
I lost
you,
my
brother.
mom back in '94, man. And I'm going to tell you, bro, if there's any advice I can impart on you and anybody that's listening to this podcast is that first year, if you just can get through the milestones like the birthday, the Mother's Day, you know, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, even her death day, you know, if you can get through that first year, that's going to be the toughest, in my opinion. I know it was for me.
It's just still tough. That woman was just amazing. She was just my rock when my dad died. Like I said, in 85 and 86, you know, she was just the rock of the family.
Mm-hmm.
The belief she had in me, you know, that was just big, man. That really just propelled me to get to them heights. So,
How old was she?
she was 94. She lived.
94?
Yeah, she.
Oh,
was
man.
94.
She
But her
on the
last
run.
6 years wasn't pleasant. She was
Okay.
real sick. She was at bed rest. God just kept her around a very long time. So I'm happy she's not suffering. She's in a better place. She's with her husband. She's with her son. She's with her mom and dad. So she's in a better place. Just a wonderful woman, Haitian. You know, Haiti boy. Just hard-working people. You know, and just instilled that worth ethic in me. Her and my dad. You know.
Right.
That's where I got that worth ethic, just tough-minded. You know, you see the circumstances over there. I mean,
Yeah. What do you think about
it's
what's
just
going on
awful over
right
there,
now?
Will. They don't. They weren't about Israel. We 3-hour flight from Miami. They don't care about Haiti. You know,
Huh.
and it's ridiculous. I've been down there on a couple missions, and it's awful down there. I got to take security with me. It's that bad. You know, you pull up to a nice hotel, Will. The security is guys with machine guns in the front of the door. You go to a gas station to get gas, the guy with the security is on a chair with a big gun, letting you know if you steal gas, we're going to put one in you, you know. And I just saw recently the gangs, they caught some gang members, they burning them. They lighting them on fire, Will, they burning them. Because the gangs are just killing people, they're raping women.
They're dismembering people.
Yeah, they raping women, they dismembering people. So the cops got like maybe 15, 20 of them in front of the crowd. They tied them to tires, put gasoline on them, and murdered them on fire. These gangsters that's doing all this damage down there. It's a mess, man. It's just hard for me to talk about that. It's very emotional for me because I've been down there. And I see the conditions. I'm like, it's like 1940 down there. Well, kids bathing in dirty water. I mean, the roads are terrible. People are just poor down there. You go down, it's a spectacle when you land in there from the airport in Port-au-Prince. There's just thousands of people out at the airport just waiting, looking who's coming in. You know,
And what are they waiting and looking for?
I don't know. You know, they're waiting. Hopefully they get a job, begging for money. It's just, every time I leave there, I'm emotionally exhausted because of conditions, you know. I took my kids down there a couple of times to just let them know that how fortunate they are. You know, power goes out down there a lot. We stayed at one place. It was just so bad, no air condition. You know, the power was going out every day, but, you know, we stuck it out. But I just try to do my part. It's just very hard. They got a long way to go. But I'm just proud, you know. I let everybody know that I'm a proud Haitian American. I'm just not American. I'm just a Haitian. I'm a Haitian. Proud of my heritage.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So, hadn't talked about the kids and the wife. you. When did you and Gina get married?
You killing me. Well, I think 2001. We're going on our 23rd, I think, this year,
23rd.
anniversary.
23rd. So, you know, it's often said that the most important decision that you'll make in life, or one of the most important decisions that you'll make in life, is the person that you choose to procreate with. You feel like that?
I'm like Aaron Judge, man, the home run king. I hit it out the park. I hit it out the park.
You know, it's amazing when you think that way. I mean, when other people think that way, But it's more amazing when you think that way because you live it. Because sometimes we on the outside looking in, you got, well, Mario got him a good one with Gina, man. That boy struck gold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gina's a good one. You know, she one of the good ones. And, you know, that's what we think. But we're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But you're on the inside and you're saying 23 years later.
Yeah, I made the right choice. And, well, me and you both celebrities. We've been in the game. And, you know, being in the NBA and you being a rap star, I mean, you know, we run into women all the time, nonstop. But my mindset, I thank God for having me go in the NBA at an older age. Because I see a lot of guys, they pick women, beautiful women, but just at home not doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
After they retire, them girls divorce them because they used to live in that lifestyle. So I said, I want a woman that work, man. I don't care about the beauty. I want the soul. I want a woman to work who's passionate and who wants to work. And when I met Gina, I'm like, man, you know, this girl's a grinder. She loves what she do. She's passionate at what she do, and she's excellent as what she does. And I couldn't ask for a better woman to raise my kids with, you know, and it's been an amazing journey with her. You know, her covering me during the finals, and everything wasn't all peaches and cream, but we stuck together. We grind. After I retired, Gina took care of the kids for 10 years, really, while I was out on the road NBA coaching in different cities while she's keeping a full-time job. So
now, how difficult was that to keep things together?
It was tough.
We know that long-distance relationships are very...
Me and her talk about that all the time. How did we do it?
Yeah.
We talk about that, but our love and our commitment to our family, was most important to us. And we did it, you know, and we look back at it, and, you know, me and her talk about it all the time. I'm very thankful for her. Just a wonderful mother. Just loves the kids and her family to death. I don't know how she juggles all these balls, Willie. She works full-time. She takes care of all my kids' tutors. She pays all the tuitions to school. I don't do none of this, Willie. She does the taxes. I mean, this woman is an amazing woman, and I'm very, very thankful to have her in my life.
Raising triplets.
Yes. 20-year-olds now, Will. 20.
Yeah, 20. So how do you process becoming a father for the first time and not having one child or two, but 3? How do you process that? And was you ready for the challenge?
It was hard. Well, it's funny you say that because I retired my last year in the leagues with the Phoenix Suns in 2001. They wanted me to play another year, but my wife was getting older, so I wanted to have a family, and we wanted to have kids. So she was having problems getting pregnant. So we sort of went through in vitro. We put 3 in, not thinking all 3 was going to carry. So I remember being at a meeting with, God bless her soul, Ada Edwards. I was downtown Houston at a meeting with her, you know, talking some business, and my phone rings. And the doctor said, "Oh, Mario, congratulations." I'm like, okay, we got pregnant. So your dad of triplets. Will, I dropped the phone. I looked up at God. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I said, all the women I did dirty, God's like, he's punishing me now, Will. I'm like, man. I said, triplets? It took me a while, Will, to really process that. I'm like, how we going to do this? 3? And the first 2 months of that, of the kids coming home, Will, was the hardest 2 months of my life. Having to feed 3 every 3 hours. My wife's pumping breast milk, carrying 1. I'm feeding 2, sleeping an hour and a half a night. You know, and my middle son at the time sort of had an irregular heartbeat, so he had sort of a machine on him. So when me and my wife finally went to bed, when his machine goes off, we'll wake up, but it's just him just taking a breath, and he's fine. And it was probably the toughest 2-3 months of my life, having those 3 kids, feeding them, you know, changing them, even with help. It was very hard. And now seeing now they 20 years old in the college, it's amazing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Do you get the sense that they're appreciative?
Finally, I think, knowing who their parents are and what their parents accomplish, they sort of underestimate what kind of parents they have and what their parents accomplish and what they sort of had to live up to.
it's different. Like when you have parents who have the traditional jobs or whatever, but when you have the parents who are high profile like you and Gina, you are public figures. You know, celebrities in your own rights. You know, the time that you spend with those kids are even more valuable. And I just hope that the kids who have parents who have these type of rigorous schedules are appreciative of that, because it's even more work when you have to, like, sometimes turn down work. I don't think they get that sometimes you have to turn down work because you have a duty. You've devoted your life to the duty of family.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a big deal. So let's talk about the championships, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the good old days.
And I really should have started off the podcast, this episode, by saying thank you, bro, because you were part of something so special. Y'all brought the first professional championship to our city. I think maybe there was maybe some other type of league or something happened. Well, I'm talking about major championship.
Major.
Y'all brought the first major championship to our city. And you talk about proud. You came to Houston in 93.
I came in right in the 2 championships.
And then next year, boom, championship. Next year, boom, back-to-back champions. Now, how rewarding is that after the journey that you had taken to get there?
God is good, Will. I think about it all the time. I walk around Houston. I still, to this day, Will, people just, that's all they talk about. They know who I am. Even, New York, the Bay Area, which I love. People know me. I mean, it's funny. I'm not Jordan. I'm not Dream. But people know, I'm a champion. People know that I'm a champion. And it's a reason I live in this great city. I love these people here. Develop great relationship with people like you. I mean, I know I'm from New York, but I got H-Town up in me for sure. And
absolutely,
winning that first one and how the city was just electric. Well, you talk about 2 of the best summers in my life. Well, I mean, just having fun, not paying for nothing, just the love from this great city, and it gets chills in my body when I walk in the Toyota Center and they have all of us all over the place, the history of us winning the championship, looking at Robert and Sam and Clyde and Dream and
oh my God,
still interacting with those guys. Just had dinner with Clyde a week ago. I mean, just you share a special bond and something people never forget. And you said it, Will, the first.
Yeah. The
first one. And then coming back and doing another one, I'm like, we in the history books, and I'm finally glad we're getting our love. Jordan played that second season, so I don't care what they say. We would have beat them anyway. I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, well, you beat me to the punch on that.
Yeah, I ain't
you beat
trying
me to
to
the punch on that. But
yeah.
What do you think about these people that say, well, if Jordan was in shape and he had played a full season,
y'all wasn't saying nothing when Jordan had 55 in the Garden, right? He looked like he was in pretty good shape when he came back and had 55 in the Garden. So I don't want to hear all that nonsense. He played. All I know, you can ask anybody in NBA history who had the hardest road. It was that 95 Rocket team. We're number 1 in NBA history in the hardest road at 72%. We didn't have home court advantage. We were a 6th seed. We played 2 teams with 60 wins. We played 2 teams with 59 wins. You telling me Shaq, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Kevin Johnson, I mean, the list goes on, Dennis Rodman. I mean, these are all Hall of Fame players that we beat with no home court. 9 road wins out of 15. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear don't ever disrespect the Rockets about our championship. We had the hardest road out of any championship. That include Jordan, Bill Russell, all. You can go in NBA history. We're the number 1 with the hardest road. Clutch City, just hard-nosed crew. Backs against the wall, well, down 3-1, gave up 2 20-point leads, and never wavered. never wavered when people were against us. We never wavered. That brought us closer together. You know, when people would doubt us, well, that brought our squad closer together. And you see the results, man. Clutch City, man. Clutch City, baby.
Clutch City, baby. I know some of y'all. I know some of y'all listening, and some of y'all watching right now. You're watching on YouTube or Instagram or something like that, and you're in the comments bragging on Jordan. Kill that noise. Never
Facts.
underestimate the heart of a champion. You dig? Man, do you ever talk to Rudy T?
All the time.
Yeah?
That's my guy. I love Rudy T to death. He moved to Austin. He back in Houston now.
Is that right?
Well, yeah, that's my guy, man. I run into him at Rocket games, U of H games. So he's out there active. One of the most thrilling things in my career was going out there and representing him for his Hall of Fame. He invited me personally. That was such an honor to be there for him for his Hall of Fame. Going in with Kobe, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. That's the class he went in there, and being in that environment with all those greats. I'm hanging out with Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, you know, Alex English, some of the greatest, Bill Walton, you know, some of the greatest to ever play. You know, so it was a privilege, and him giving me a personal shout out during his speech was.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Division II guy. Well, 7th round pick, role player. I'm so proud to say that. I wasn't good like Clyde and Dream and all those guys, but I knew what it took for my team to win. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. See ya, Charles.
That's how you did it, right? That kiss of death.
Yeah, see ya, Charles.
The kiss of death.
Yeah, see ya, Charles.
Say, man, when you and Robert would get behind that 3-point line, I just do like that.
That's all you got to do, Will.
Man, y'all knocking them threes down, man.
Dude, when you have a big fella like number 34 just punishing them inside, Will, just destroying guys inside, they're going to have to double that man. If he don't double Akeem Olajuwon, he going for 50. He going for 50. He was that good, as you know, Will. That dude was just amazing. So when they go down and double, Will, me, Robert, Vernon, Sam, and Kenny, we out there salivating, waiting for our 3-ball, because we know once we make a couple of them, that's going to loosen up the big boy down there to sort of finish, you know, put the icing on the cake. So they ain't going to double no more that we hitting them threes. So Olajuwon just takes care of business last 2-3 minutes of the game. And we get the dub.
People often talk about the top NBA players in the game, and oftentimes Olajuwon's name may not even come up.
Fam.
It may not even come up. And a lot of times when they talk about centers, they put several centers before him. I understand that he played for Houston and that's the home team and all that stuff, but I consider myself an objective person. For example, I don't like Michael Jordan, but I do believe that Michael Jordan was the greatest player in the game.
Agreed.
You know, so I feel like I'm pretty objective when it comes to these type of things. I just haven't seen a center who was more agile, more dominant, more consistent, more passionate, that came to work every single day and went in every single play like Akeem Olajuwon.
Not that just who dominate the game on both ends of the floor, not just offensively.
Right.
He dominate the game defensively. Number 1 in blocks, Will. Number 10 in steals. The next center is number 65.
Number 10 in steals.
This is with point guards and, you know, LeBron, wings, Scotty and them. Dream is 10 in steals. He's a center.
Right.
And he's around all guards.
That's huge.
Jason Kidd, John Stockton, that's who Dream is around. The next center, I guess, is 65.
Wow.
I'm like, give this man his flowers, man. I know they got him number 12 all time, but I'm like, he got to be top 10. He's top 10 on my list.
Yeah.
I got a great 10. Let me give it to you my 10 real quick. Well, my first team all NBA is Magic, Jordan, LeBron, Tim Duncan, Kareem. My second is Isaiah Thomas, Kobe, Larry Bird. My 4 is hard because I love Charles and Karl Malone, but my 5 is Olajuwon. Those are my top 10 players that I like. You know, I know everybody wants Shaq and Dream bust Shaq, but I don't want to hear that. Dream swept Shaq. Dream bust the MVP at his home. He bust the MVP. He bust Pat Ewing the year before. What you want that man to do, Will? What you want that man to do? Dream in '94 had to battle Oakley, Mason, Ewing, Charles Smith. They were beating on this man for 7 games.
What do you say to people who say, well, that was a young Shaq. Shaq hadn't come into his
I ain't trying to hear that. They got all the way to the finals. Young Shaq got all the way. They beat Michael Jordan. Young Shaq beat all them dudes. Reggie Miller and them. I don't want to hear that. Y'all had us down 20 in game one talking all that mess. The game ain't even over. We walk you young boys down, beat y'all in overtime, and then put the brooms out on y'all. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That was impressive. That was impressive. And I think it's when it was like after that first game. It was that first game. And it's kind of demoralizing when somebody can wipe away a 20-point lead and then beat you. Because now in the back of your head, you're always thinking that the lead is not safe and they can always come back. And they're always thinking we can always come back and get you. So they don't panic. The team that came back don't panic.
Great point, Will, because Shaq in our documentary said when they were up 20, they in their huddle celebrating. But you look at our huddle, Will, we calm. Veteran team, been in this position before. Wasn't nobody in the huddle panicking. We knew we had a chance to come back in the game. We knew we'd been in this situation before. So Clyde sort of had a great second quarter, closed that 20-point lead. We went into the locker room with some momentum. We cut it to 11, and Kenny got hot with the threes. Nick missing the free throws. Then Dream having a big tap in overtime. It sort of demoralized their ego because we blew them out at their crib by 20 the next night. And we knew we had 3 games in Houston. Your boy said, we're not coming back to Orlando. We're not coming back. We're not coming back to Disneyland. Chucky will tell you that. He said, Chucky was on the podcast. He said, Mario Man was like in the locker room, said, we're not coming back to Orlando. Mm-hmm. I'm a man of my word, Will. And we swept them boys. Penny Hardaway, Dennis Scott, Horace Grant, a lot of good players. Brian Shaw. We ain't beat no slouches. They got to give us our props, man.
Houston recently selected a new head coach. Did they call you to interview?
They called my brother Sam. I was hoping he got it.
I know they called Sam, and I was really disappointed that they didn't go with Sam.
Me too.
But did you get a call?
I did not.
Now, you've coached, 6 NBA teams?
10 years.
For 10 years.
I interviewed for a couple head jobs, but...
See, what runs me hot is when you have guys like yourself and Sam who has a high basketball IQ, who's played the game, who's won championships, and they'll go get this old corny-ass dude who ain't never won nothing, but, he know how to draw up a play. He know how to mark the pad. Hey, come on, guys. He know that. He know how to do that. But it seemed like to me, if it's me, I'm trying to look at a guy who understands, who has a high IQ for the game, who really understands how to be a general on the court, a general. That's the kind of guy, to me, that I think would be a good head coach. Now, obviously not all guys who can really play ball well are good coaches. In fact, sometimes, most of the times, they make the worst coaches because they have high expectations. They don't have any patience.
Agreed.
For
Magic.
Yeah, they don't have any patience for players to blossom, to grow into these roles and positions that they want them to play in. Where are you right now with coaching?
I'm sort of falling back, Will, because I'm getting a little older. I'm pushing 60, so I coach 10 years. I still love coaching, passionate about it. But it's a different game right now. It's a different type of player. There's a lot of sensitivity with these young players. You can't be like the old school coach and really yell, But I thought the Rockets did a good job. They bringing a guy in. I'm glad Ime's getting a second chance. He did a good job with the Celtics. Took them to the championship. And one thing I think he's going to bring to the team, Will, is definitely discipline is what we need. And I think coming off Silas, hiring an assistant coach, I think the Rockets did needed to hire a head coach. You know, they didn't want to go and hire another assistant. Me and you are biased. We love our boy Sam. I would have loved Sam here, and he deserves a shot. But I think Ime's a good choice. I think he's going to do a good job with these young guys. But like I said, you can have a good coach, but at the end of the day, you need players. We need some players. We need some more players.
I think before you can get to the players, I think you got to have, and let me just ask you this. What do you think is most important that the Rockets needed like right now? A good coach, GM, or owner? What does like? I just feel like the Rockets management is whack. You know, like I think that they've dropped the ball on a lot of choices, and I think leadership starts at the top. I think that, you know, if it's me, I'm a winning type of dude, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win, and I'm not trying to keep resetting. I'm not trying to win something 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I want to win right now. Who I got to go get? Who I need to get to make these championships happen like right now? What do you have a problem with ownership or the GM? Do you think they need a new GM?
It's tough because the business NBA is very difficult, and the decisions are very difficult. But I thought their first move was a good move. You needed a head coach. You needed a discipline for this young team. So that's the first piece. The second piece is the most important piece, what position they get in the draft. If we get number 1, Will, you know who we getting. We're getting the big French boy, 7'4". So I think
that's why they brought in Ume.
Yeah, that's going to be an important piece. Where do we draft? I think if we draft 1 or 2, I think we're in good shape. Because if we don't get this French boy, there's a young guy that's in the G League that's a hell of a point guard. His name is Scoot Henderson. He's like 6'3", sort of like a Derrick Rose, Westbrook type of guard. Strong, athletic, could get to the hole. So that's the second important piece. And the third, we need some free agents. We need some veterans on this team. We need some good veterans on this team. I love Eric Gordon. I'm glad he was here for a while, but he don't talk a lot. We need sort of a guy like a Al Horford, Udonis Haslem, George Hill, some of these veterans that still can play a little bit, who've been around a little bit, who sort of can school these young guys. We got a very, very young team. You know, we got a young team. And I'm with you. Fans here, we're tired of losing. We're tired of rebuild. It's been 3 years in a row. So this is going to be a big year for us and for the GM. So now that the coach is going well, the shift is on him. So now coming to this year, he's going to have a little heat on him. But I thought his first move was a good move by hiring Ime, because Ime took a team to the championship in his first year. Give him credit. And he made a couple mistakes. I believe everybody deserves another chance. And I think he's going to bring some discipline, much-needed discipline, to this young Rocket squad.
Who's the most important decision maker on a basketball team?
You talking about on the court?
In terms of management, coaching, GM,
it's the
ownership.
GM. Because he's the one that's bringing in the players.
The GM.
It's the GM.
We need a new GM.
Wow.
We need a new GM. and look, man, I'm going to tell you something, bro. Like,
he only been here 1 or 2 years. You got to give him a shot.
Need a new GM.
You hard, dog. You hard.
Say, man, it's time to win, bro. It's winning time, man. Like, I'm very serious about winning, bro. And like,
me and you both.
I love my city, man, and I feel like when they lose, it's like we losing. You know, the city lost. Man, when you look up and see this go, Houston, lost. We see the L, that say Houston, lost. You know, like, and this is why basketball players and football players and baseball players get the big bucks, because they represent an entire city. And people are proud of their city, so they buy the merchandise. They go to the game. They pay the big ticket prices to sit on the front row or just to get in the building. You pay, and you support, and you invest your time and your energy and your money into these teams. And when it's not reciprocated by a a player who is just happy to be getting a check and don't have any pride in the way he plays day in and day out. That's a problem to me. Like, I feel like everybody should have enough pride to where they're going to give everything they got every single time they step out there on that court or on that field. Give me everything you got. You step in that ring, give me everything you got, and then there's no excuses. So that's the way I rock. Like, I give it all, and then if I come up short, then I just came up short. But at least I'm not kicking myself because I feel like I didn't give 100%. And I just feel like it's too many guys who come into these leagues who get this check and then they fall back and, you know, they don't. That's why I don't really watch sports until playoffs.
Wow.
Because they don't play hard day in, day out. They don't play hard.
And it's funny you say that, Will, and that's just why I get mad, because these younger eras getting mad at the old guys. We took pride in playing 82 games. Well, we were banged up and hurt. I didn't know if a kid was going to see me play again. I took pride in getting on the court every night. That's why I respect Dream. I played with Dream 5 years. The man rarely missed a game, man. I'm watching this man get beat up, double team on a nightly basis, never complain, and just play at an elite level. He wanted to play every night. Listen to the stories of Jordan and Kobe. I don't know if this kid gonna come see me play again. I'm gonna play. I'm playing for the fans. These boys sitting out, like you said, Will, sitting out, not giving 100%. That's why people respect me. I appreciate the game. I love everything about the game, the competition. Game day, Will, I wasn't taking no calls. I was so locked in on what I had to do that night. I step on the court. There wasn't no friends or hugging after. I didn't want to hang out with you and work out with you in the summer. You're not on my team. All these boys not want to work out with each other. What is that about? You my competition.
Double date.
Exactly. You my competition. I'm working out with my team, my teammates. I don't want to work out with, like Giannis. That's why I like Giannis. I don't want to work out with you dudes. I want to beat you guys. So that's why my mentality. And I went to war with some dudes in the bunker. I was blessed with to play in the league 11 years. I made the playoffs every year. Wow. I played with the Rockets 5 years. I try to tell people that. I played with the Rockets 5 years. I'm third all-time in playoff games played behind James Harden and Hakeem Olajuwon. And I'm a guy who only played 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Well, these guys, Dream played here 15, James played here 8 or 9. And look at all the great Rocket players that came through here. Here's a role player like myself who's third on the list with 74 games. Nobody will ever think that. Mario Elie, 7th pick, 160th pick, is third all-time in playoff game plays for this great franchise that me and you love. I took pride in playing for this team, and that's why I love here. That's why I love this city. Whenever I play, everybody said, man, you just play. I say, yeah, I play for you guys. H-Town, I love representing my city. H-Town, proud, you, Ghetto Boys, all y'all. Y'all are my guys. That's the H, man. So when I stepped out on that court, I knew the pride of this city, man. You know, people go hard down here in H-Town. That's why I love H-Town. People go hard down here, man. Absolutely. So we expect you on the court, V-Max, you know, OT, Carl Herrera. We had some lunch pail cats, you know, come through here. You know what I'm saying? And those lunch pail cats brought y'all back-to-back championships, you know? So it's good that we get that love. And like I said, where I still walk to this day, people still give me the love, and they quick to talk about that era, and it makes me feel good, you know? And that's why I love living here. You know, I love, you know, beside the food being great down here, well, man, I got the H-Town, boy. That food down here, well, woo, get you every time down here.
What's your favorite restaurant out here?
I live in Papados, Will.
There you go.
I live in Papados.
I know people that are from here and people who don't live here when they come to Houston. Like people that used to live here, you know, now they live out of town, and people who come to Houston for the first time or second time or third time, whatever, as soon as they touch down, they want to go straight to Papados.
Dude, man, ain't nothing like
Man,
this.
it's hard to be when it comes to seafood.
Oh.
It's difficult to be Papados, and some people be trying to put up arguments about other stuff.
No.
And I just think that's real hate. You know, Tyrone. I just think that's hate. You know, like now
It's not just good. They just give you a lot of food too. Well, I'm like, and the love, the people are great.
Yeah.
It's just everything about it, man. So that's my little staple. Where I'm there at least 2 times a week. They're like, "You back?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's my spot."
What's your go-to meal?
I like the grill half chicken with the broccolini. I like the catfish, fried catfish with the rice and beans. You know, I like my gumbo. You know, but I don't eat the seafood really. I like the chicken and sausage.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, love my salads. Love the house salad with the creamy vinaigrette. You know, as you get older, Will, you just stick with the stuff you like. You don't be mixing stuff up.
Right,
you know,
right.
You stuck in your ways.
Yeah, I go with that Cobb salad from time to time.
Oh, you got the Cobb?
And I'll do the salmon Alexander. Salmon Alexander, yeah, I go that way. Hey, let me ask you a question. So, were you in the locker room when Akeem slapped Vernon?
I was not.
Man, Vernon had me cracking up when he told the story. I know you saw when he told the story. I know you heard about it too, though.
What's even funnier, did you hear the story? You know, Vernon's a big social media guy like you now. Yeah. And Carl Herrera had called me mad as hell like a week ago because Vern is always telling the story how he took a weight and hit Carl Herrera. Did you hear that story he said too? They got him and Carl Herrera got into a fight. I remember that fight. Mm-hmm. He hit him with a weight in the back of his head, but he don't never finish the story. Carl Herrera went and tracked him down and whooped his butt, and he had to go to his car and get the gun. So Carl Herrera said, "I'm tired of Vernon going on social media, Facebook, Brian, talk about how he whipped my butt. He don't never tell the end of the story how I whooped his butt." I said, "You and Vernon got to handle that. Why you calling me? Call him. You got his number?" So, yeah, Vernon got into a couple squabbles, boy. He got into a couple squabbles, I'll tell you that.
Vernon said he was just sitting there talking shit, and Akeem just walked up to him.
You call pre-Muslim Akeem. He gonna slap pre-Muslim Akeem. You gonna get these things, dog. But after Islam, he was good. He was good, Will. But pre-Islam, boy, he put them things on you, boy. He put them things on you. You ain't see old school Dream in the NBA world punching cats. Yeah. I'm like, yo, Dream was wild, yo.
Yeah.
But then once he got Islam, he like, okay, let me channel this intensity.
And Vernon had me laughing, man. Vernon tell that story. Vernon was like, man, he just walked up there. He said, "I know this motherfucker didn't just slap me."
Yo, Vernon was so wild. When he get mad, he just spitting on the court. I'm like, yo, man, you just spitting all on the court. And that's where Dream was mad. Dream said, "Stop all that spitting, man." That was I heard the story. That last spit, Will. Dream was like, bop. Gave him that slap.
Vernon Maxwell. Vernon Maxwell. You got to have a player like Vernon on the team, though.
Dude, probably one of my favorite teammates.
You got to have a disrespectful player.
But not that. Well, he was nice.
Nah, I know.
Vernon could ball.
I know.
He wasn't just crazy. He could hoop, too.
I know, but what I'm saying is you got to have that type of dude with that type of dog.
We had some pits, man.
The kind of dude that they know that, okay, these dudes might not want to play ball today. They might want to fight today. You know what I mean? You got to have that kind of guy on the team. And Vernon was that type of guy, and that's why Vernon was so beloved. We love Vernon. Like, Vernon was that dude.
He was, man. And in that 94 run, to me, he was our second best player behind Akeem. In the 94 championship. Mm-hmm. Made a lot of big plays for us. Just an amazing teammate, amazing talent, his competitive spirit. You know, I mean, we don't win the championship. We down 2-0, go to Phoenix. Vern have 31 in the second half in game 3. You know what I'm saying? We just talking mess to their bench. Oh, it was just so fun. Well, when Vern gets cooking, you better, like Barbara said, you better get out of his way because he's going to talk a lot of mess. Yeah. And he was cooking that night, and he saved us, man. He saved us that. He saved us that series, came back and won in 7, but it's Vernon's performance in that game 3. During that season was a magical season. He hit a lot of game-tying shots and game-winning shots for us that year. So I just always felt we were going to win that year, and we went on and did it.
What was your impression of Sam Cassell as a rookie? Because you came in the year before the championship, and first year that Sam was on the team, y'all won the championship. As a rookie, he's the general on the court. He was out there with Kenny Smith. It was Sam and Kenny.
At first, though, well, it was Scotty Brooks. So.
Oh, I forgot Scotty.
Yeah, because Scotty Brooks was ahead of him. It was Kenny that started, and Scotty would back him up.
Yeah.
And Sam be in practice cooking Scotty, you know what I'm saying? And Sam, would go up to me and Vernon, because that was our young boy. We would take him everywhere with us. He's like, man, I want to play, man. I'm like, be patient. You're going to get your chance. And once Scotty got hurt with the rest is history. He ain't get his spot back. You ain't hear from Scotty Brooks again. Because once Sam got in that spot, once Scotty got hurt, Sam took over the minutes. That young boy was so fearless, so good, so tough. East Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? Another tough kid coming out of Florida State. He was just a special talent, man. And we don't win without him. That big three in New York he hits. I mean, Sam really stepped up. Game 7 against Phoenix. Dream has 37. Sam has 22. Second highest scorer. So he was a big part of what we did. Second championship, Game 2 in Orlando. Comes off the bench, busts Penny's butt for 34. Came off the bench, had 34. So Sam was a hell of a player for us. What a great rookie. Was mad when they traded him, Robert, Mark Bryan, and Chucky for Barkley. We were mad about that trade. I'm like, why you going to do that?
They should have got Barkley for free, man.
No question. We got an old, broke-down Barkley. We didn't get that good Barkley from a couple years ago.
And here's the thing about, dude, I'm going to tell you what I ain't like about Barkley play. Barkley was one of those type of dudes. He's a scorer. He can rebound. He's good for himself individually. But when it come down to it, he don't know how to make the right decision. He don't know whether to shoot or pass. Sometimes you could see him kind of like caught up. He don't even know where to be at on the floor. But great scorer, great rebounder. But I just, when they traded for him, I was like, bad idea.
Yeah, we called him late. Well, 2 years early, I would have said yeah, but he wasn't the same player, But I'll tell you what, Will, fantastic human being.
Who?
Barkley.
You talking about the dude that be wearing wigs and dresses and lipstick and makeup and stuff and high heel shoes and kissing old white dudes at the All-Star game in the mouth? Him? That Barkley?
Yeah, Barkley's a good dude. I know Shaq and Kenny. I know you watch them all the time. I play with the guy, but just a good dude. He was a great teammate.
Chuck, you talking about Chuck?
Chuck Barkley.
The one that could be calling Chuck? That dude?
Charles Barkley, dog, is the coolest cat, man. Yeah, I know, Will. I know it's hard.
Okay, so how do you explain if he's the coolest cat? So maybe he has a dual personality. Because when I see him, I see the other sides of him, not just that side where he's cool, because I know other people that know him that say the same thing you're saying. Man, Charles is cool, man. Charles is cool. When I see him on TV speaking on social issues, he frequently throws black people under the bus. He's very animated when it comes to black issues and criticizing black players. But he never have that same energy for white players or white people collectively. That's problematic to me. So this is why I say, I don't like that dude, man. And I know he like to talk about slapping people, but
Yeah, it's good that everybody has their view of a person. I just know people don't know he gives millions of dollars to HBU,
But the government gives billions of dollars to black folks every year, and we know how they feel about us. You know what I'm saying? Because a pimp will take a chick out and buy a nice dress and a wig and some shoes and jewelry and stuff and put her out there on the track, make her sell her body. So just because somebody give you some money don't mean that they for you, you see? And a lot of times people give you money so that they can talk about you, so they can say they gave you some money, so that they can continue to do dirt. keep you quiet. A lot of times that money be like hush money. Okay, let me give you this money, so now you ain't got nothing to say about me.
But he's a good dude. I mean, I'm just from my experience. I understand where you're coming from, where you see from the outside. And he does. I just think now, Willie, with these young boys, you got to be able to take some criticism, dude. That's where I'm from. And to me, Shaq and Charles got those credentials because they're Hall of Fame players. Both those dudes were elite players. I know sometimes they do go overboard.
Sometimes
they do go overboard.
Shaq can talk because Shaq got championships. Shaq know what it takes.
But you can't hold that against
Mario Elie knows what it takes.
But you can't hold that
Kenny
against him,
Smith
dog.
knows what it takes to win it all, to win to be at the top of the mountain. He knows what it takes. Charles Barkley ain't qualified to be telling a player, any kind of player, what it takes to win a championship because he don't know.
Well, he's still one of the greatest to ever do it. He's top 50, top 75. You got to give him his flowers.
Flowers?
But you're right. Maybe not about winning the championship.
Give him some of these stones.
All I know,
got
during
a pocket
the
full of
Jordan
stones
era,
like UGK for that sucker.
During the Jordan era, he won an MVP. But, that's
individually, I agree with you. Yeah, great player. Yeah. Individually, yeah, he had his stats. But I'm about the team. Okay, what about the team, brother? It's like somebody in the family, right? It's somebody in the family.
Ask Karl Malone, ask John Stockton, ask Patrick Ewing. There's one individual that held all those guys back. It's an individual from Chicago who dominated 3 back-to-back. The only guy I think with 3 back-to-backs is Mr. Michael Jordan. Held all these guys back. Look at the 90s. It's crazy. 6 for Chicago, 2 for us, 1 for San Antonio. That's it. That's all the championships I'm thinking in the 90s. That's crazy.
6 for Chicago.
2 three-peats. 2 for us, 1 for San Antonio. And I was on 3 out of 9 of those. I won 2 with Houston and 1 with San Antonio. And Jordan got the other 6. Crazy, right? He held all them guys, Ewing, all these great players. Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. Michael Jordan beat them all, man. Beat them all.
Well, who won the other one? Because that's 6, I think. That's 6 for us, 1 for San Antonio, 3 for
It got to be in the beginning. It might have been the Pistons. They won, 88 and 89, 89, 90, I think it was the Pistons. And then it was Chicago 3-peat, then us 2, then another 3-peat for Chicago, then San Antonio, I think.
Yeah. Well, Detroit would be a wise guess because they were holding Chicago back. They're the ones who kept beating them.
Yeah.
But
Jordan finally figured out the Rubik's Cube and got over and beat them. But, you always got to go through something to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So,
Is dating the son of a former teammate acceptable by a ex-wife of a player who played with the team? Like for example, let's just say you. Well, let's just say if hypothetically speaking, if you were in a position of where you have a son who played, you have a son and you have a player who played on the team with you. Let's say, I don't know, Sam. Let's say Sam. Sam and you played together. Now you and Sam, y'all don't get along. Is it cool for Sam's wife to date your son? Would you be cool with that?
No, I wouldn't be cool with that.
Even if you had a grudge, even if you and Sam wasn't speaking, you wouldn't be cool with that.
No.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me, man. I've been thinking about stuff sometimes.
I don't understand how guys date each other's teammates, girls like that. I'm like, all these Thank God I'm married. But all these beautiful women out here, well, there's enough for all you guys out here. You don't need to be messy. You don't need to keep it in house. That's just messy to me. You know, that's just messy to me. I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah. Against the code.
Me and you on the same page with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because I mean, you know, I just be thinking sometimes.
It's just
maybe it's just me. Am I old school?
No. That just to me is not a good look.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
Yeah. So what do you think about John Morant?
Needs a lot of maturing. That whole team needs a lot of maturing.
Yeah.
I mean, NBA got to step up a little bit to me, Will, because when you do all that talking, him and Dylan Brooks, oh, I don't care who we play in the West, LeBron is old, you poking the bed. Okay, when you don't perform, you need to be man enough to go in front of the media and answer those questions. But these young niggas cop out. Excuse my French. These young boys cop out and don't talk to the media, and that's cowardice to me. When I had bad games, I answer those tough questions as part of our job. All these guys, when things don't go their way, Will, they don't want to talk to the media. But when they win the game, put the mic all in their face, they want to talk. They should get a big fine. This is the playoffs. You got to hold accountable for your actions. You guys do all this trash talking, and after y'all lose, John Morant and Dylan Brooks don't want to talk to the media. That's unacceptable, man. And that's on Memphis Grizzlies. Y'all need to hold them dudes accountable. You got to go up and face the mic, face the tough questions. That's part of it. You guys are making $30 or $40 million a year. John Morant, be man enough to go up in there and answer the questions.
$30 or $40 million a year.
These boys are getting the bag right now, Will. There's some dudes on the bench getting the bag. I'm like, I wish I was hooping right now, boy.
Huh.
I get you, me and you on our own studio, Will. The money they giving these boys out here right now. Man, crazy. These dudes in a great time right now.
Yeah. The NBA, are you cool with the trajectory that it's on right now?
The only thing I have a problem with is nobody play D no more. You got 7-foot guys want to shoot threes. Everybody switch all the time. Nobody fight over a pick. Everybody whine to the officials every play, like you get fouled every play. I just wish guys would just play. Love Steph Curry, because he just hoop. Devin Booker, he just hoop. LeBron James, he just hoop. These dudes don't talk. They let their game do the talking. You know what I'm saying? Back in our day, nobody really talking that much. You know, Jordan let his game, Dream let his game, Duncan, quiet dude let their game do their game speak volumes, obviously. Even though I know Larry Bird was a big shit talker, but he back it up. You know, that's what. If you gonna talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever play against Bird?
Yes. Remember when I was Golden State, my first year in the league, we playing up in Boston, Will. Had a good game. They bust our butt. But I remember going down the lane and laying Robert Parrish. And Ryan Bird cussed him out. He said, you let that MF rookie lay you up again, MF. Yeah, Larry Bird, boy, wasn't no joke. Yo, he all these boys. Yo, don't let him come down the middle again.
Where does Larry rank in your all-time greats?
He's in my top 10.
Yeah?
I got him as my second three-man. I got LeBron 1, and I got him 2. I got him in front of Durant. And I don't know if I want to put Durant at 3 because I love James Worthy. You know, I love James Worthy at the 3.
Don't talk about Bird and all that scoring, because I say Elijah Warren, Ewing, and Jordan. Now, Bird was a bad boy.
Boy, bad boy.
Bird was a bad boy. You can't take nothing from him, man.
Hey,
that was a bad boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Larry Bird.
Just good days. Will, I mean, playing against Magic at the L.A. Forum was crazy. You know, my first experience playing at Madison Square Garden was crazy. Playing in Utah was crazy.
You played in you played in what I think many consider the golden era.
No question, the 90s. Going up to Seattle.
Yeah, man.
Going up to they was loud up in there, Will. The fans, I just loved that. I sort of missed that. I played 116 playoff games in my career, Will. I mean, the intensity. It's the regular season and the playoffs are totally different, Will. Don't even compare the two because the intensity level is deafening. Every possession, every game is important. You know, when you're losing, the media just beating you up. You can't be reading the papers. You just got to focus on your job because they critique you game by game. You know, so when things ain't going your way, the media just beat you up. Just got to like, yo, move forward. You know, you got to move forward. We had so many mentally tough guys. That's the great thing about our group, that 2-year stretch we had, just not giving up on each other. You know, we've been in a lot of tough situations during that time. Guys, you know, easily a team will splinter, but we never did. We always believed in each other. And we got it done where we're in some difficult situations that I don't know how we got out of, but we got out of them because we had belief and we had just some mentally tough guys on that team.
Absolutely.
Just mentally tough.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I was at ease when I saw how at ease you guys were when Sam Cassell would be on that floor running that team.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, I was very impressed with that. Like, I could tell by y'all energy. Y'all was very confident with Sam Cassell. I didn't see a lot of shouting that, you know, a lot of times when it's a player you're uncertain of or whatever, you're trying to play your game and trying to tell him how to play his game.
Nah, man.
I didn't see that a lot with Sam.
Hey,
what
we loved about him, yo, he would wave Dream off, Will. He get cooking sometimes, Dream Waterboy Sam, wave him up, say, yo, man, it's my child. That's what we loved about Sam, dog. Sam, yo.
Sam Cassell, man.
Hey, Impact in New Jersey, Impact in Minnesota, Impact in everywhere Sam went, they won.
Yeah.
They won.
How close were you and Robert Horry? Because you and Robert Horry had similar games. Y'all would sit back there and be ready for that 3.
Well, me and Robert was cool, but Sam and Vernon were my guys.
Yeah.
We were like the Three Stooges. I mean, we would eat together. We would hang out. We were just very, very close, us three. I think Robert had a wife and family at the time.
Okay.
You know, me and Sam were sort of single. You know, Vern always liked to get out no matter what the situation was. But just great guys, man. Just enjoyed being around them. The funny thing was, well, when we got out on the court against each other, we'd be ready to kill each other. But once practice was over, we hugging each other. We about to kill each other in practice, well, but once the whistles blow, yeah, what we doing? Where we going to eat at? You know what I'm saying? That was the relationship we had as a group. It was an amazing experience.
Y'all
man.
Probably would not have won those championships without that type of energy.
Exactly.
You got to bump heads. You got to, one person I think they're right, and the other person I think I got a better way. But at the end of the day, we have the common objective, and that is to win, become champions.
Yes, and we knew that at the end of the day. There were times where guys were hot, wouldn't get the ball, we'd cuss each other out, pass me to them, you know. So, but we always worked it out. But we were intense out there. I tell you, we got into heated arguments, but like you mentioned, well, we knew what the bigger picture was. We trying to win. We trying to win all of this. We trying to win the whole thing.
I saw a guy who was a former NBA referee who went to jail for fixing games. Anybody ever try to come to you and say, "Hey, man, take this little package right here, man"?
No, I ain't with that. I ain't cheating the game.
Shave that score. For
as hard as I got to as hard as it took me to get to.
I mean, you ain't never had one person say, "Come on, Mario." Mario,
never, ever, and I would never jeopardize a great game of basketball like that. But I was doing well. I was doing all right.
Not even in college.
Nobody
ever approached you?
Nah. The thing, when I was growing up, though, in the hood, when I was a good player, I would play for the local drug dealer. He'd give me, I was one of the nicest dudes in the city, so he'll give me a couple dollars then. But as I got to college, and I didn't even think about doing nothing like that. My focus was getting to the league, period. But when I was growing up, a high school kid, the Doughboys, had the best players in the city. We got the fresh kicks, Will, and he breaking us off too. I wasn't getting no money back there, so I had to get some coins on the side. So that's how I was getting some little money back in the day in high school, playing with the Doughboys. They always had the top teams. I mean, I try to explain to people growing up in New York, playing in New York basketball in the summer, Will, 3,000 people in a summer league game outside in the park. Imagine that, the music blasting, people drinking 40s, blunts flying all over the air, dudes on the fence and trees. There's so many people where you can't even see the baseline. It's just amazing atmosphere. Guys are dunking. You got the best guys in the city playing. You know, it's like 9 o'clock at night. There's 3,000 people in the city park watching a game.
And what park was this?
It's 139th Street.
Is that the one where
the Rutgers was 155th, okay. But before Rutgers, it was on 139th. Even Dominique Wilkins came up to the park one time to watch. He came up to that same game that was 3,000 people. It was all the top New York players putting on a show. The fans were going crazy. Anytime a great play goes in New York, Will, everybody runs on the court. So the game got to stop for a minute. You know, Kevin Durant, came through up there. Kobe Bryant, a lot of NBA players came through New York and played.
How did they keep those guys safe?
Back in those days, it was easy, Will. You know, back when I was growing up in New York, we knew we had rough hoods in the city. But back then, if you were a baller and people knew your name, you get respect in that hood. Like Chris Mullin, I was telling you a story about him. Me and him played high school together, one of the baddest dudes in the city. He used to bust everybody butt. So when he go in any hood, he'll get that respect. You know, he's a white boy. That's how it was in New York back then. When you're a baller and doing something good, dudes wouldn't mess with you. Like Kenny Smith, I don't know if you saw the documentary called Point Guards with Rayford and Kenny Smith.
I haven't seen it.
Me and Kenny used to play for a team called Riverside Church. So our game sometime, used to end late, and we used to have to take the subway home like 11:30, 12 at night. And Kenny was telling a story how he was taking, he got home late from a game. He was taking a train from Manhattan to Queens, and some stick-up boys was looking at him. And he had a Riverside jacket on. And the doughboy knew exactly what that was. He said, yo, Riverside Church, that's one of the best AAU teams in New York. Keep doing your thing. And he gave him a pass. Nowadays, these young boys don't care who you are.
Right.
That's why, that's the era I grew up in, the respect factor. I would go in some Brooklyn. I'd go in some rough neighborhood, but I had game. They like, yo, this boy may go somewhere. You got our respect. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you. I remember growing up in New York, being some Brooklyn cats in the park, chasing me and my brother to the train station. Well, that's how it was. These dudes, some hoods will whoop your butt, but most of the time you get that respect, which was great growing up in New York, when you were a baller. But nowadays, the city's a little different. Them young boys ain't going for that. They don't care who you are. You're getting stuck up.
I never see any type of scandalous stuff about you or Gina. I never see, any type of altercations and stuff like that, all that type of stuff. Has there been times where somebody, like, I know you can handle yourself and all that stuff, but if there have been times where somebody said something about Gina and you like, hey, don't let this basketball title fool you. I beat the brakes off you.
No question. But Gina's such a good girl. It's just me being out in the bar and people saying slick shit. I mean, see my friend, slick stuff sometimes. And then New York Haitian come out of me. My wife, my temper is quick. She has more patience. She's from Santa Barbara, laid back. I'm from New York. We react.
Give me an example of something somebody would say, something slick.
I never really got nothing in with Gina, but dudes would just say some silly stuff, man, be hating. You know what I'm saying? What you doing out? Don't you got a game tomorrow? You a bird, you ain't nothing, Dudes just say stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jealous, just jealousy. Yeah. What you doing out of? Y'all done lost 3 games in a row. Don't you supposed to be in bed, I'm like, I'm a grown man. What you worrying about what I'm doing? That's the thing I don't like. People always worry about what you doing. What are you doing?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about being out. Let's talk about being out, because that's a big deal.
It is.
That's a big deal when you lose 3 games in a row and somebody look around and they see you partying right next to them. Like, hey, in our minds, we thinking, shit, man, you need to be at the gym practicing on your jump shot. Like, why are you out here kicking it? Like, walk us through the thought process of a player, a professional player, who may have struggled in a game or a few games, and now he's at the club fresh off a loss. Walk us through what the mindset of that is coming into the club, and don't you got to know that somebody's going to have a problem.
Of course. But, guys.
But why go?
Absolutely right. Sometimes you want to de-stress. Some guys just, that's what they do, to go out and de-stress. And especially knowing right after a game, knowing you don't have a game the next day, you just probably have practice. But some guys just like to do that. I can't name guys, but there's some guys who just knew how to burn both candles. But when game time was on, they was ready to hoop. Some guys can do that, some guys can't. So you're right. Right now, especially, we grew up well with no social media, so we sort of can get out without really hearing about nothing. Now, if you get out, like with Ja Morant flashing, you can't do nothing now, boy.
And then if you do hear something, you can say it wasn't me.
Exactly.
Because nobody had camera phones and all that.
We had an out back in our day, Will. That's what I used to say, nah. Because everybody always say me and Ron Harper look alike. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it wasn't me. It was Ron. Yeah, Ron, every time I see Ron Harper, he said, Mary, they always say, I said, Ron, they always tell me I'm you. But I'm like, it wasn't me. But I always felt I needed just to get out sometime as a player just to detox instead of being home thinking about the game, knowing I don't have a game the next day. Mm-hmm. Always never really went out before I had a game because, I always had the toughest defense assignment. Especially playing Michael Jordan. I know I ain't going out to the club, though. I'm going Glenn Rice, Jamal Mashburn. I got to be in bed, Will, getting my rest guarding these boys.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of players talk about having nightmares and not being able to sleep.
I don't have no problems.
Before playing Michael Jordan. So did you lose any sleep when you know you had Jordan? Jordan was the assignment.
I was just excited mostly because I'm like, it's competition. That's why you're in the league for. Yeah. Competition. I'm like, I need to, try to stop this dude, man. I stopped this dude. I'm going to get a little rep. And, we had success in Houston against him. That was the cool part about it, beating him a couple of times, but super talented player, man. This dude was so good, man. Catch the ball when he wanted to catch it. I remember one game in Chicago in '97. Well, this dude was jaying me up. 21 in the first quarter. I'm like, Rudy, you gonna send a double team on this dude? And I'm all on him, Will. I'm elbowing him in the joint. He just backing me up. He just fading on me, Will. I'm like, yo.
But Vernon had the most success guarding him, didn't he?
Because Vernon was super athletic, man. I wasn't athletic as Vernon. Vernon was a football player in high school, quarterback. Vernon had 4.9% body fat.
And he Vern's
motor, it was a different motor. That dude could run all day. He was a special athlete. And he was just in Jordan. He was a guy and wouldn't back down. Well, our team, none of us backed down from them. Nobody was scared of him, We love competing against him, That's why you're in the NBA for. All these guys want to join each other well and play with each other. No, I want to beat you. I want to beat you. LeBron, you say you the GOAT. Why you joining Bosh and, what I'm saying? We wasn't doing that in the 90s. Like Dream calling Jordan up. You want to link up? And calling Bird and Magic up. Y'all want to link up and play? You hear those old school dudes talk. They don't want to. I want to beat you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to join you. These boys want it easy right now. It's the AAU era right now, Will. Everybody want it easy. Everybody want it easy. LeBron want Anthony Davis. Who else you want, LeBron? You talking about you to go. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, great player, love him. But everybody want to play buddy ball, instead of just having elite competition. I want to play.
LeBron didn't start that, though. He didn't start that going to get the other players, the great players from other teams, are going to another team to win the championship. Some of the players, there was players that started that before him, and I think that once they started doing it and he saw some success, I mean, hell, the Rockets did it before he did it, by going to get Clyde, bringing Clyde over here. Remember?
Well, when they brought Barkley, and that's when they tried.
Then they brought
Scottie Pippen after that. You brought the old Barkley and an old Scottie Pippen.
But let's go back to that hanging out thing, where the player experiences a loss and then they in the club with everybody else. And you mentioned something that I thought was important, and you said that you do it to depress, you want to decompress, want to like de-stress. That's the word you use, distress. Regular people do the same thing.
Facts.
Because when they have a tough day at work, they want to go to the bar and have a drink, man, and just get their mind off,
Absolutely.
So they do the same thing, and I guess I never put that together, but.
We have a stressful job like that. Well, I'm telling you, our job, man, when you on a loser streak, the city just against you, the media just beating you up, you got to be mentally tough. And then when you out walking about, when you're struggling, people are like, man, when you going to get it together? You got to hear people talk and mess when you just going to a grocery store or restaurant,
I just always want to see the heart. If you lose, you lose, but I just want to feel like you gave it all. That lackadaisical attitude.
That bothers me too.
Yeah, man. I just want to feel like, man, if you can go out there and put it all on the line, you can dive into the stands and bump your head like Rodman used to do, and then be in Vegas,
he lived here, right?
Go to Vegas. Yeah,
Rodman.
I ran into Rodman.
I see him at Sands Boat all the time.
I ran into him about a month ago. He told me he was thinking about getting a house out here.
Yeah, I see him all. He's a good dude, man. Yeah. He's a good dude right there.
Yeah. But, like I say, if you just give me everything you got, man, and I'm cool. Hell, you can come to the club. Hell, drinks on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like that. But if I feel like you just out there, man, and you ain't got that pride, you ain't adamant about winning and stopping these jokers, where's the pride, man? Where's the pride with giving up a 30-point lead? You know what I'm saying? Where's the pride with having some team that's lowly rated and, they're like ranked number 8 or 12 in the conference or something, and you're number 1 or 2, and you let them come in here and beat you in your home.
And great points you make, Will, because I remember my first year with the Rockets when we were rolling. We still got off to a 15-0 start. I'm like, we would go on a road trip, 4 games and 5 nights. We'll go 3-0, and we could be satisfied going 3-1. We're like, it's been a rough road trip. We're like, nah, let's go 4-0. Let's go 4-0. Don't need to rest dream. Let's finish this road. Those are the guys I were in the bunker with. Mm-hmm. Those type of guys. Like you said, we were tired, of course. 4 different cities, 4 games and 5 nights. That's how we was rolling back in the day. These dudes got all kind of time now, Will. You know what I'm saying? No more really back-to-backs no more. They cater to these boys right now. They still getting hurt and complaining. But we were 4 games and 5 nights. We'll be 3-0, and we get in the joint. We're like, yo, let's finish this thing off, yo. I know we tired and a little beat down, and we would dig down, dude. We dig down. This team would dig down and get it done.
Man.
And get it done. And that's what prepared us mentally for the playoffs. Not giving nothing away. We could have easily, 3-1 is a great road trip in the NBA. 4-game road trip. 2-2 is still good on the road. Road is tough in the league. But we 3-0 and we like, yo, let's get greedy. So it's a reason we had championship mindset, because we were thinking like that.
Yeah.
In the regular season, we like, yo, we rolling. And it was funny, Will, we went 15-0. Big game in New York. We whooped their butt. Madison Square Garden, Knicks talking mess. Dreams dropped 37 on Ewing, 15-0. Headed to Atlanta on the back-to-back. Plane messed up. We don't get to Atlanta till 4 in the morning, Will. And got our butts whipped the next night. I felt if we got to Atlanta at a decent time that night, we might have got him the next night. You know what I'm saying? But our plane was messed up in New York, and we got to the ATL. We had to get to our hotel for 4:35 in the morning. I'm like, man, on the back there, man, we had to play the next night. We were a little sluggish, and they beat us, but I felt if we'd have got there at a decent hour, I think we would have kept this thing going for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Because Atlanta wasn't that good at the time. They had some players, but they weren't that good. But that was just a special group, man. That was just a fun year, that 94, 90, that 93, 94. I mean, like coming out the gates 15-0, starting off the season 23-2, I think. We and we knew that we had something special in that group.
You did have something special, man. And for that, we are forever indebted and thankful, man.
I love this city, man. I mean, all you gotta do is say Clutch City. When you say Clutch City in this town, everybody know what's up, and that's all right.
Hey, do you have a picture like that at your house?
Of course, yo. Hey,
that's super dope.
I know, right? That moment was just a great moment, man. I'm like, you know, all the work you put in as a youngster, and you envision those moments. I remember being a young boy in the park. I'm Magic. I'm this dude. You know, you envision as a kid, and then getting put in that moment and stepping up in that moment. And I just remember it was pagers back then. Well, my pager, I had somebody page. My phone messages I couldn't even answer all the messages after the game because everybody. You could hear silence after the 3. You just heard the Little Rocket fans. And looked at my man, Willie, blew him the kiss of death. See you later, brother.
Yeah.
We out. 1, 2, 3, Cancun, right?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And we out. Man, I appreciate you for coming on the show, man.
Well, you my brother, man.
Thank
Always
you, man.
good chopping it up with you. Good seeing you. Glad you're looking well. We both doing well.
Yeah, well, you working, you still working out.
Of course. You know,
Yeah,
I be
man.
in the lab. You got to come work
you
out
look
with me
like
at the
you
Houstonian,
basketball
dog.
shape,
Let me
man.
know. I'm going to hit you up. Come work out with your boy at the Houstonian. You know, I get in the lab. We can get some shots up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get on the elliptical, get a little
Man,
thing
I
up.
ain't finna let you embarrass me with them shots, man. I'll throw the ball back to you. I ain't got no problem. I'm a team player, you know. So you put them up, man. You know, you knock them down, I pass you the ball back.
That's all good. I'm with that. I'm with that.
There it is, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Elie.
Yes, sir. Thanks for
No
having
more
me,
talk.
my brother.
Yes, sir.